Escape from the prison planet. All right, if you just joined us, in the last segment, we showed a young lady saying, it's mine, it's my personal tattoo, no one else can have it, it's mine. A very, very interesting. KPHO out of Phoenix reports on Phoenix tattoo artist offers scanner codes, and this is going on in other places in the U.S. and Europe, but his particular case has gotten a lot of attention, and these are those modern barcodes that look like a collection of little squares and dots, and it's very popular. You see people sticking it up on, the sides of areas on city streets where flyers are hung. You can walk up with your smartphone and scan it, and then it takes you to the website. I guess instead of actually walking up and, say, typing in Infowars.com, you just actually just go there. And I wanted to talk about this because there's a big move, and I saw an article back in 1999 in the Washington Post saying the Pentagon was interested in the self-mutilation community, the tattoo community, the body modification community, because they thought that was a way to mainline implantable microchips and barcode tattoos for the military and others. And mainstream news has reported they've had test programs with implantable chips with the U.S. military. So I'm very interested in this overall move. And joining us is Levi Smith, and Levi Smith is with the Jade Monkey Tattoo in Phoenix, Arizona. He's the owner. Twitter.com, Levi Tattoo. Facebook is Tattoo Monkey. Thank you for joining us, Levi.
Hey, thank you for having me, man.
So, where did you get the idea to start this? Tell us about the technology. Tell us about how many people are getting these there at your tattoo shop.
Well, I've done 3 of them so far now, and this QR code technology has been around for actually quite a while. I guess around like 20 years. It was really popular in Japan and stuff, and it seems to be a really great and effective marketing tool. It's going to be getting a lot more popular in the U.S. And I was checking them out for using for marketing, and I ran across on the internet this guy knit a QR code into a sweater, and you could still scan it with a smartphone, and it would still take you to where you wanted, where it was supposed to take you. And so with that, I figured, well, I could tattoo one of those. So, I called up a friend of mine, and without really knowing if it would actually scan or not, we did like a little test run, and it turned out. And, and I was actually kind of shocked that it was scannable. And so I put the word out, and I did a couple more, and now I'm tattooing a heavy metal band. Each member of the band is getting the QR codes tattooed on them to go to their band website and all that stuff. And, and it's a pretty tripped-out thing.
Well, look, I'm not here to judge you individually, and obviously this is a fun gimmick, but obviously many people have gotten fake barcode tattoos with 1984 under it to say that they're against being turned into a product. They're against the face scanning that creates a digital barcode from the measurements of your face or your thumbprint being used for some really draconian government controls. I'm sure you've heard about license plate reading cameras, face scanning cameras, and the fact that people would want to run out and, get a barcode and put it on their body to then connect it to their Facebook. I'm sure you've seen the reports about the dehumanizing effects of Facebook and things like that, where people don't have real relationships. They just basically collect friends like baseball cards.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I agree with that as well, and there is a clear line between the people that are really interested in this sort of thing versus those that really find it kind of abhorrent and find it as something that's kind of a warning as as potential times to come with the lost privatization and the increasing influence of technology in our immediate personal lives. The people that are really getting them much more tend to be younger people, counterculture people, people that are kind of using it to kind of own it, the same way that like minority groups would use racial slurs and stuff towards themselves as a way to kind of take it back, sort of thing.
There's a lady getting one of these where she says, it's mine, only I can have it. But, I mean, I don't see that as it being hers. It now ties her into the Matrix, and she's basically taking, some corporate Pentagon. I mean, it is the Pentagon that developed the barcode in 1984 of all years. They made a deal with Walmart to demand all of their suppliers have the barcode. Now they want RFID tracker chips in all products, so that in MIT and the Pentagon's own words, they'll be able to track the real world like cyberspace with all these tracker chips. And I've noticed with clothes I get laundered, they now stick an RFID glued sticker without asking me that rips your clothes if you take it off. So now I have to go to a new launder place to get some of my clothes laundered because they're not even asking. They're just sticking this on my clothes, gluing it to it. And sure, it's convenient for them, but more and more, I'm sure you've heard about the FBI putting tracker chips on cars without warrants.
Right, right. Well, yeah, and it's a further attempt to digitize reality because it's so much easier to control a digital world than the real chaotic world. So in an attempt to control that more, this could very well be used as as a method, these QR code tattoos. But also they're very, very easy to modify and stuff. So I don't think that they're really viable as a control device or a tracking device, or something like RFID chips or some kind of like a magnetized ink or some crazy nanotechnology.
Sure, you're right, but I'm telling you, the Pentagon was in Washington Tech, the tech publication, the Washington Post at the time, in '99, and they said, we love the body modification, the mutilation, the tattoo movement, mainlining, the body piercings, because their psychological warfare breakdowns show that would then cause the public to accept forced microchipping, as the Mexican Attorney General did 7 years ago of his office employees in Mexico City. And so, my point here is that you're right. We don't need the tattoo. They already get your digital photo when you get a driver's license, put it in a federal database, and now can track you. Your face basically forms, their own barcode.
Yeah.
But I mean, my whole issue is just, did you hear about the VeriChip company that signed up with a bunch of Baja Beach clubs in the U.S. and Europe to get into the VIP area with the girls in bikinis? You've got to take an implantable microchip.
Really? Wow. I've heard of VeriChip, but I didn't realize that they were already implementing that, in those kinds of ways, like on a commercial level. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, if you just type into a search engine Baja Beach Club or nightclubs, Baja Beach Club nightclub, VeriChip, implantable chip. Because that's what the global engineers, Ray Kurzweil and others, write books about it. They say, look, at first you won't be able to have a job if you're not implanted, and if you don't do all this augmentation and brain chips.
Well, yeah, you'll be a non-person if you sit out and refuse to get these trackable devices that control your ability to purchase and sell and everything that we've always been warned about. Then you're not going to be allowed to take part in that digital society.
But see, exactly by standardizing, Levi, and obviously you're a smart guy here talking to you. I was going to yell at you, but you obviously know what's going on.
Yeah, this is totally my sort of thing. I've had some of my friends call me the Antichrist for doing this, and I think it's kind of funny, and I may be in some way contributing to the psychological acceptance of doing this sort of thing, but it's not something that that I'm not necessarily blind towards, and I'm not exactly for it either. But at the same time, I'm part of that counterculture movement that wants to kind of own it. If we can use this technology in ways and understand it, maybe we can use it to fight.
But
back.
Levi Smith, when you dance with the devil doesn't change, he changes you. Beware staring into the abyss, lest you become the abyss.
Right.
But expanding on that, here's what I'm trying to say. The Pentagon, MIT, they all created the global infrastructure, the internet, all these systems. They admit that they're going to force all business through it so that then only mega corporations can basically operate in the system. And all of this barcoding, all of this stuff is extincting local businesses, community. Now they're harassing roadside places selling eggs or oranges or watermelons. They're now arresting people selling fresh milk. They're now hunting down with the animal ID, premises ID, trying to shut down local farms and ranches. This is a full spectrum dominance matrix control system. And I'm telling you, you can't own this. I'm telling you, this is playing directly into their hands. Perhaps by you doing this, and now if you speak out about it and point this out, perhaps some good can be made of it. But I'm telling you, this is going to destroy us.
Yeah, there's a great possibility of that. I've got a lot of faith in humanity and the inherent difficulty in actually maintaining any kind of control over us for a certain amount of time. that we'll win. You know, the people will win, but it's that trial and tribulation that we have to go through that maybe will help us in a way and help help move our culture forward and move out of this violent kind of state that we tend to have been in for the past I don't know, 3,000 years.
Well, Levi, here's the issue. The system implants modern versions of Christianity on record to make people believe the world is basically going to go through something, so we can't stop this inevitable foregone conclusion, self-fulfilling prophecy, when the truth is every generation goes through crises. Right. And we need to, Rwandans, when they were being murdered, the Tutsis were being killed by the Hutus, or was it vice versa? They believed it was the Tutsis being killed by the Hutus. Check that for me, folks. My memory fails in 93 or 94. The point is that they believed it was the end of the world and it was the Antichrist. People in Germany thought it was the end of the world and the Antichrist was Hitler. But the point is there are many Antichrists, and we need to say no to this system now, because even if it is the end of the world coming, we are being tested now on the decisions we make.
Truly.
And listen, that doesn't mean I'm on some high horse about what you're doing.
No, I get you. This is something that's indicative of the warnings and whatnot. And I agree that we have to be cautious towards these things. But I don't know. It's to me it's a novelty, and I'm a bit of a tech head, and with Ray Kurzweil and stuff. I'm really optimistic about what technology can do for us and whatnot, and also its inherent dangers of what it can take from us.
Sure, but I mean, you're probably getting into his more public rantings where it's meant to look good to the proletariat. Here's an example. Most big gyms in Austin now, I can't have a membership at because they make you thumb scan to go in and lift weights.
Right.
Libraries, many public schools make the kids thumbprint, no cash allowed, no credit cards allowed. It tracks everything you do. We're entering a system under a global sales tax collected nationally, delivered to the IMF and World Bank internationally, where you're not going to be able to accept cash. You're not going to be able to accept a check. It's all being phased out. You're going to have to pay with your face scan, with your barcode, with your chip, with your RFID, and that's so you can't escape the taxes that are going to go up and up and up, that are designed to break down the once vibrant real economy and the black market economy. So this system is death to
right.
True local community.
Right. Yeah, and I do get you. I just I'm not sure what to say as far as my position with doing the QR codes. I do realize my my part in the I guess the acceptance of this sort of thing, but I don't know. I seem to have a little bit more optimism in in humanity's ability to generally resist this sort of thing.
I have optimism. That's why I'm fighting right now.
Right.
Well, we are going to win. The answer to 1984 is 1776. Do you have any children, Levi?
Yes, I do. I have a daughter, yeah.
How old is she, 5, 6?
She's actually 2 months old.
Well, we're entering a time when she's 10, 12 years old where would you stand up and fight or speak out if they were saying your daughter had the face scan when she buys and sells? It'd just be a camera on the wall, but it's already here. But, to make sure she pays her national sales taxes because it's going to be graduated. I mean, would you be against that? Would you speak out against that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, because the fight is now. They're integrating this. They're setting it up. They had face scanning cameras up in the town I live in 10 years ago. They only admitted to the slaves last year. I mean, sir, the war is now. I mean, I'm just telling you. Did you know that most major cities don't just add fluoride to the water? They actually add radioactive isotopes?
Right. Treating the water and stuff to control, various balances in the body and the brain and whatnot, keep it docile and,
I mean, because that's admitted. I have the Rockefeller Foundation reports. It's also to kill you, slowly kill you. I mean, this is pretty hardcore, is what I'm saying.
Right.
And I mean, you know, the point is we've been eased in to this cold water. They've turned the heat up, and now we're boiling. And I'm just saying, I don't think we're going to own this, getting barcodes that can actually be scanned by enemy platforms like Facebook. It's one thing to go into Facebook, as we do, into the matrix to try to reach people with red pills, but I think it's another thing. You know, to kind of say, make me a movie star in the Matrix, and I don't want to remember anything.
Well, you know, and at the same time, though, you know, people have been able to, you know, individuals have been able to kind of own some of this technology and stuff, and even use like Facebook and Twitter to, you know, to overthrow dictators, even. You know, so it's kind of you know, it's kind of difficult to fully predict how these people, especially these younger generations, which seem to be so natural at all of this technology.
Sure, there are some people who are young and angry in Egypt and Libya, but, you know, Al-Qaeda and the Pentagon are the real ones running. I mean, have you seen the news, how they admit Al-Qaeda's the good guys now in Libya? Right,
that the Eastern Libyan faction could have Al-Qaeda elements.
Oh, they're run by Al-Qaeda, yeah. Have you heard about Anwar al-Awlaki, now the head of Al-Qaeda, hanging out secretly at the Pentagon?
No, I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, look, the State Department registers and controls and works with Twitter, and I'm just here to tell you that those were staged revolutions over there. You noticed in Bahrain and other places where they're machine gunning crowds. They haven't had the same kind of response equally throughout everything. That's for sure. Well, yeah, we're not seeing coalition air raids on our allies who are shooting people. Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, I don't want to just sit here and talk at you. You've been a really nice guy, Levi Smith. I appreciate it. And so what do you got folks lining up now to get their barcode tattoos? Yeah, some of them are, and then some people are pretty upset. You know, it's about 50-50 right now. So, well, if that's any indication, it's a state of the you know, acceptance towards this sort of thing. Well, I understand your sophisticated view of, hey, it's individual, people made the choice, it's a way to own it, but you have to understand the symbol of something, even if somebody, say, got a swastika on their arm and they weren't a Nazi, and they said, I got it to educate people about, you know, tyranny, still some people would be upset by the symbol because of their, you know, their head screwed on straight. And so it's that symbol, it's that response. Like, you can throw a rubber snake at somebody and a lot of them will kind of jump back. It's not that it's a real snake, but it elicits that response. But in your case, it is a real snake. And look, very interesting discussion. Levi Smith, tattoo artist at the Jade Monkey Tattoo in Phoenix, Arizona. Take care, my friend, but what does it profit a man to gain the whole world if he loses his soul? I'm not judging you. I'm as wicked as the day is long as well. I appreciate you joining us. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the sites, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.
Visitor. Then about 25 years ago, they started getting really popular. Now one type of high-tech tattoo aims to take ink onto the information superhighway. Here's CBS 5's Heather Moore. Tattoo artist Levi Smith is inscribing the future in the flesh.
The code is completely computer generated.
The code he's referring to is the QR code, which stands for Quick Response. It's similar to a barcode and becoming more prevalent with businesses and publications to scan information.
Most people just think I'm crazy.
Anisha Jones says branding herself with one has not been a popular idea, which was also the case when we canvassed downtown Phoenix today.
That's absurd.
No, I don't see myself doing that.
The tattooed code is fully scannable by smartphones, and you can link it to a web page or other text source.
You might end up in 10 years, find them on driver's licenses or student IDs.
It's something different that nobody else will have. It's my tattoo, and no one else could have it.
Critics fear there could be security concerns, and to some, the stamp represents evil.
3 of my friends have called me the Antichrist for wanting to do this. I'm like equating this to being like some sort of mark of the beast.
I think that's kind of scary myself.
But to others, the designer's skin is in, and a permanent passport to tomorrow.
For me, I think it's a really interesting kind of novelty that just helps us come to terms with our high-tech lives, our social media, internet lifestyle.
Heather Moore, CBS 5 News, telling it like it is.
This is
QR code tattoos. Now, QR stands for quick response. And when you take a photo of the code on your phone, it can take you right to the person's Facebook, website, and get their personal information.
It's something different that nobody else will have. It's my tattoo, and no one else could have it.
And as far as we know, Levi Smith at Jade Monkey Tattoo in Phoenix is the only shop offering the tattoos. And this morning we have Levi with us. Thank you very much for coming in. I have to admit, this shocked me when I heard about it. First of all, can you explain, first of all, how do you get your own personal code, and how did this come about for you?
Well, I saw the QR codes as like a marketing tool and whatnot on the internet, and I thought that it'd be a really cool idea. Then I saw another article about somebody that knitted a scarf with a QR code knit into the scarf, and then they could scan it. So I figured, well, if somebody can knit it, I can tattoo it.
Okay, so you just took it one step farther.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know technology is going this way. Did you ever think, oh, this is way too much. I shouldn't do this?
Well, I've had some friends and stuff, say that it's pretty crazy, and maybe I shouldn't be doing stuff like this, putting scannable barcodes on people and whatnot. But I thought it'd be a lot of fun, and it's really easy to avoid.
How does it work? You get this on your tattoo. I know someone was joking. What, you can go to the grocery store and scan your arm? It's not at that point right now.
Not exactly like that.
What can you do with it?
Well, you use an app on your smartphone, a barcode scanner, and then you can scan it. I'm not sure if other devices can do that or not yet. But when you scan it, it just goes directly to a website or a photo or some other information and whatnot on the internet, and it's a direct hyperlink that's permanently put into somebody's skin.
Wow, and a lot of people, I know you were saying some of your friends think this is very exciting, and you also said some of your friends called you the Antichrist.
Right.
What do you say that? And I have to say, a lot of people automatically, from a biblical perspective, you think, whoa, what is this all about? What is your response to that?
Well, it's kind of crazy and it's kind of funny. I thought it was really funny. Being a mark like this that you can use to potentially track somebody in their actions or purchases and stuff kind of relates to, like apocalyptic biblical stuff, and so like the mark of the beast sort of thing. So some of my friends just kind of joking around and stuff and, making fun of me, basically saying that I could be the Antichrist coming up with this.
But we want to put it on the record that you are
Absolutely not.
no. Using this as a marketing tool.
Yeah, just a simple artist trying to find a new innovative way to, to bring tattoos to the
Was it hard to get people to do this?
Not really. There's actually a lot of people that are really excited about doing it. I've got a local band the whole band wants to get these QR codes now. More and more people have been contacting me over the past couple of days to do them and whatnot. So, yeah,
it's out there.
It's really exciting, yeah. There's no going back.
Okay, yeah, that is the truth. All right, thank you very much, Levi. We appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Right after the break, we will take a look at your top stories. Stay with us.
Today about a new microchip technology that can locate you to within centimeters, not just on the XY grid, but vertically as well. So in other words, if you have one of these chips in your cell phones, they will know what floor of an apartment building at which you are residing. This is this is by Paul Joseph Watson, posted on Infowars.com right now. And it's being linked to by Matt Drudge over at thedrudgereport.com. So I want to thank Matt for that link. The title is New Microchip Knows Your Location to Within Centimeters. Forget a chip in your forehead. The mark of the beast is the cell phone by Paul Joseph Watson. And the MIT Technology Review reports, quote, Broadcom has just rolled out a chip for smartphones that promises to indicate location ultra precisely, possibly within a few centimeters, vertically and horizontally, indoors and out. It even, they're saying that this will be useful for shopkeepers and retailers to know when you're walking by, so they can then hit you with their personalized advertising messages. Didn't we see what was the movie that this was made famous by with Tom Cruise? Was it a Philip K. Dick? Minority Report. That's right. That was in Minority Report. So now, of course, you got to ask, well, how would this retailer know what your preferences are? Well, because you've been surfing the internet and Google cookies have been tracking everything you search for and everything you visit. And therefore, if they share that with brick and mortar retailers, and they can then know your profile the minute you walk by. Wouldn't that be weird? Like you're on the internet one day searching for storable food and MREs, and then you're walking through the mall with your new microchip cell phone, and all of a sudden a billboard in front of you shows an ad, MREs on sale for long-term preparedness and survival. And you say, whoa, wait a minute, how did they know that? That's the kind of of invasion of privacy that we're talking about being made possible by these microchips. Not to mention the ability for local police to locate you and have you arrested for whatever reason they might come up with. And by the way, we are going to have an interview coming up in the third hour with attorney Dale Carson, the author of Arrest Proof Yourself, who gives you tips and strategies for avoiding being arrested, how to handle confrontations with police in a way that keeps your butt out of jail, basically is what that's all about. You know, don't escalate things, for one thing. But they could use this microchip to find you and come arrest you. So let's say you milk your goat. And you have your milk on the internet for sale. I'm going to sell milk to people within the zip code or within the city. They could then use your cell phone chip to come find you, arrest you, throw you in jail, and have you tortured and chained up and shackled as a, quote, sovereign citizen because you're crazy to think that you should be able to milk your own goats and offer that milk for sale or trade to your neighbors. Pretty amazing, isn't it?